Second show.
Hi, America.
Hello, America.
Welcome to Angel in the Wiz.
Welcome to Angel in the Wiz. Hello to Aunt Pat and Gene O'Brien and Zachary and Mackenzie and all the other and Juan and all the other crazy people that watch this show. Yeah, they were all nice too. You're still Sundaying, right? Mm-hmm. So what should we talk about today? We talked about game change last week.
Guess what I'm having? I am getting a cat animal behaviorist to come to my house tomorrow to fix my cats.
Okay.
Mostly Gato.
No,
Mostly
wait.
Gato.
What do you mean? She's neutering them? What do you mean
No,
she's coming to fix them?
His name is Brian,
okay.
GC, and I saw his flyer at the vet, and
does he have any idea what he's walking into?
I don't know.
Does he know you have 6 cats?
Yes, I did tell him that. I have one cat, Gato, who's in the video that we talked about last week, the YouTube one of the cats playing.
Okay.
He's in that one. He tends to be extra aggressive towards 2 of my other cats, Lucy and Boma. And with some now medical effects that are happening to those cats, they now have had multiple visits to the vet because of bites or...
Well, you can't have that.
Right. So I thought, well...
Maybe it's time for what's his name to go swimming.
Well,
not permanently, just enough to make him realize that we have rules.
Well, I have rules. He doesn't understand them. He only understands Spanish.
Hey, ¿qué pasa? Whoa! ¿Qué pasa? Woo! Okay. Okay. Well, I'm just saying.
You know Mariano, our friend.
Yes,
Mariano comes over. Mariano is from Chicago, like I am, and is Puerto Rican, I believe. And will come over and talk to people in Spanish on his phone, and because he cleans my house sometimes, and he says that when he starts talking Spanish, Gato all of a sudden is alive. Is there, like at his feet and wants attention and stuff. So.
So maybe that's why Gato feels left out, because he don't understand anything.
Right, and I don't know, so there's some other behavioral issues though. It's just aggressive. A lot of the scratches that you see on me recently come from him.
That's not acceptable.
No.
So now, what this gentleman is coming over to, does he know the cat only understands Spanish?
I did mention that to him.
Well, that's probably what the problem is. The cat feels alienated.
Well, I think some of it is that Gato was truly dropped off. Just the lady... Abandoned. No, dropped off to my house. She brought him over with his things and said, okay, have a good day, and left. So... I not only did the only mom, human companion he knew leave him, I guess abandon him at my house, he also had to acclimate himself to 6 cats.
Right.
And so it's taken, from what he was before to what he is now is huge.
Right.
And I'm just looking for someone to kind of come in and evaluate the whole household, see where I, as the leader of the pack, where I can make changes to my association with them or anything like that to help. But I gotta
believe that some of that is the language.
Yeah, and
he feels left out.
And the reason I say he only understands Spanish is that the previous owner only spoke Spanish at home, and she had him since he was a kid. She had him for about a year and a half.
So he sees in a world he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand the thing you say, and when Mariano comes over, he comes right to him. Yeah. So give Mariano the cat. That'll teach him.
No.
Then he can speak to him Spanish all the time.
But Gato loves me. Gato loves me. He loves the hand that feeds him and plays with him. You know that part, but
he ain't so crazy about the other 5.
He doesn't mess with Gandalf anymore, though, because one time he tried to play with Gandalf, and Gandalf had a seizure, and Gato was like, "Oh, I don't know what this is. I'm out of here." So that was into that. And he doesn't mess with Manny either. Manny is Manny's like the leader of the group, and Manny is much smaller than Gato and has a limp and was hit by a car before I rescued him, but just based on the way the other cats react to Manny, Gato knew that one is off limits too. So he doesn't mess with Manny or
terrorizes the other 4.
Yeah, terrorizes the other 3. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean that's.
I'll let you know that progress.
Okay, well it'll be interesting to find out what happens. Wow. Oh hey.
What?
So, just 1 second. It's the wife. Hey baby, we're taping. No, you don't have to go that quick. But I love you very much. How's our day going?
Aww.
Bye. She's calling me on break.
Cool.
She went right away.
She's got a birthday coming up.
Yeah, she does. She has.
And
a
so
birthday.
do I.
That's right.
Woo,
So do you.
I'll be 32.
32 years old, and Tina will be 54. But
and my mom's coming back down for my birthday. The first time I'll have my mom on my birthday.
Oh, that's cool.
In probably about 5 or 6 years.
Well, and
I'm excited.
What did you say we were going? You wanted to take Tina?
We're going to go to a restaurant called Boma.
Boma, okay.
Yes.
Good. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Well, that'll be very nice, and I hope that you have a very happy birthday. It's okay if I say what date it is?
Yeah.
It's the 18th, right?
July 18th.
July 18th. So, what I didn't realize, I found out years later, was that Tina, when we decided, we were together for like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Now remember, I had been married 3 times.
Right.
Okay? I met Tina. I knew it was going to last. It was everything right. So,
I know that feeling.
You know, and we got married like in 3 months. What I didn't realize is she chose the 12th, which was the week before her birthday, because she didn't want to get married older. Do you believe that?
That's a smart woman.
I didn't know that. So that's why we got married on the 12th. The birthday was the 18th. Now, also, I don't know if she was plotting this, but also now that she has a whole week. Okay, so week starts with the anniversary, goes to the birthday. She celebrates for the whole month of July.
Good girl.
She is.
That's a smart woman.
Smart woman, you know, very, very, very good.
My mom, I'd say my mom's coming down, and my boyfriend is taking me out. It was just out to breakfast because it's too hot to do anything else after like 10 a.m. down here. So we're just going to breakfast, and I asked and when I found out my mom was coming back down, my boyfriend and he asked if she wanted to come to breakfast with us. So I call her up and say, "Hey, Mom, you want to come to breakfast?" And she says, "Oh no, I just want you to spend the time with your boyfriend." Like and I go, "Mom, he's not going to propose to me. I don't care if you join us. Do you want to come to breakfast or not?" "Are you sure?" Seriously, Mom.
She didn't want to go to breakfast because she thought he might propose?
I'm like, what could he possibly say to me? He's going to get down on one knee. He's going to tell me how much he loves me. Then he's going to follow it up by the fact that I live in a house that's owned by my ex-boyfriend, that I have 6 cats that he's allergic to, and that I have bankruptcy on my credit report. So despite all of those, and that we haven't lived together yet either. So despite those 4 things, I should marry him. And she's like, "Well, when you put it that way, honey." And I'm like, "Mom, when I said there were issues, there were issues. I'm not like trying to say no. There are issues that have to be overcome. That my boyfriend and I have to,
let's say, need to be addressed.
We need to be addressed, and they have to be taken care of before we can proceed any further in a relationship."
Right.
Okay, well then, yeah, I'd like to come to breakfast with you.
I hope he asked you right in front of her.
Okay. He's not. No, because I told him the story. I'm like, I just got to tell you what conversation. I called him up after I got off of that phone. "Hey, guess the conversation I had with my mother this time." And he goes, "She think we're getting engaged again?" "Oh yeah."
But you see, one thing I know about him is he has just the sense of humor to do it.
But he wouldn't.
That's him. He's so dry.
He would, but he wouldn't.
He's so dry.
He is very dry, and he does have that sense of humor, but he wouldn't because of those 4 issues that I mentioned.
Well, listen, getting engaged isn't getting married. Getting engaged, you could work out, you could do all the adjustments during the engagement.
Right, and we could. But
some people are engaged for years.
I know. I've seen some of that. No, I think that it's not. We're not ready for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I think that he's.
I told him don't watch the show.
You did?
I guess.
Don't watch the show.
I said don't watch the show. You know, and I noticed that he's aged a little. Since I've seen him, yes, he's grown up a little bit. I saw it in his face. We work with a girl named Natasha, nice lady, and she went away on an assignment, and she came back after months, and I saw her and she walked in. I said, "Natasha, she's grown up a little bit, you know, and I could see it in her face.
It's amazing when you're given very high stakes responsibility, how much you adjust and change to it.
Well, I mean, that I don't know. All I know is I could see.
That's, I mean,
that,
but that's
and
kind of
that
what
happened
it is.
with him. He looked, you know, he was younger last time excuse me, before I saw him. Oh yeah, this is the second week of chemotherapy not on. I completed my 18 weeks. Now I'm just going through the side effects, and I'm finding out, Tink explained to me, that the steroids that were given to me over those 18 weeks, my body is now missing, withdrawing from. So, you know, and it's like any withdrawal, it's not good. So if I look a little odd or I act a little odd.
Like I said last week, this is the worst we've seen you. Out of 18 weeks of chemo, this is the worst that we've seen.
Well, yeah, because
I truly think it's
I wasn't there yesterday getting that 3 hours and the steroid. And I have to tell you that I was really happy to find out that they were putting steroids in there, because I couldn't understand why. Listen, I'm not patient to begin with. I mean, I'm not. But it had just decayed into nothingness. You know, I have no patience. And if I spill something, I get upset. If I'm not nasty upset, but nasty. You know, it's like, and once I understood that we had steroids in there, oh, now that made sense, because we know how they affect people.
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta tell you,
I know what you mean with lack of patience, especially with my niece and nephew.
Right.
I'm just.
You're at the end.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, it's unfortunate, and what a lot of people, I think, fail to realize, and you know, and I think also a lot is put on people when we talk about parenting, where there's so many nutcases running around telling the children, call a lawyer if you get hit by your mom and dad, which is really crazy nonsense.
I spanked my nephew one day.
Well, I mean, you have to, and I'm just saying.
I was so mad at him. I was like.
And then you know that spare the rod, spoil the child is a fact. You know all those cliches we laugh, ha 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 ha. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're all true. They all really happen, and they really are based in fact. And something to keep in mind is that when the child is young, if you discipline him when he's young, he or she, you can discipline them much less and get a much bigger return. And if you do it properly, out of love, because love shows even in discipline, you might not have to do it as much later on. Okay, and so you really reap the benefit of doing the discipline at the youngest age possible. I think my mother hit me once. She hit me once. She was so frustrated with one day. I was a little bit older, but of course now you have to keep in mind, I was a perfect child. Okay, so I mean, so keeping that in mind, she didn't have to do.
All children are perfect.
No, I wouldn't go that far, but I didn't cry. I was really good, and you could ask my mom. You can't, but if she was here,
when I meet her someday,
when you meet her, she will confirm I am telling you the truth. But one day, I don't know what it was about. She hit me in the butt with a brush, and the brush broke, and we both cracked up. It was great. So you know, and I mean, but I was very blessed. I had good parents. Mm-hmm. I had loving parents. I was always wanted. Yeah, that's important. You can't fake that stuff.
No, I had great parents.
Did you have great parents
too?
That's good.
You know, and I remember,
I
still have them. I hated them from 13 to 17.
That's expected.
I hated my mother. I hated her. I mean,
And she knew nothing.
Yeah, she knew she knew nothing, and then I find out that the nothing that she knew was lies she fed to me. You know, like I'm 16 years old contemplating having intercourse with my first boyfriend.
Right.
And her response is, well, you should wait till you're married because that's what I did with your dad. And I'm like...
Oh, you mean she fibbed?
Yeah! I found out just a couple years ago that she'd been doing my father for like years before they got married or engaged.
Funny.
And I'm like...
But she was trying to send the proper message.
You know, but yeah, she's trying to...
That's cute.
She's trying to send the appropriate Catholic message.
Right.
You know, and I told her, I said, you know what? The lesson I've learned from that is I will always be honest with my children and things like that. I said, probably not when they're
But you've got to be
6
carefully
or 7.
honest.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot more information than they do.
I know, but I'm thinking to myself, what would have had a greater impact was if my mother said, you know, I did this, and as I'm older, I regret that I did.
Oh, that's very good. I
that,
like that.
I think has a better impact on teenagers.
Yeah, because it's honest.
Yeah.
You want to be honest.
Instead of saying, well, I didn't have sex with your father until we were married on our honeymoon. And you're like, what?
Right. Well,
No.
well, but I support what you're saying.
This episode.
But I support what you're saying, because that might have been, but you got to remember, it was a different time. This was 20 years ago, almost. So I mean, and times were different. You can only base it on that.
I did have to have a conversation with me talking to my sister about her children is always been a challenge. Especially
younger sister.
My younger, yeah,
right.
Because I'm the oldest. Because every time I talk to her about her children, she always looks at it as I'm trying to tell her how to raise her kids.
Right, tough.
And that's not always the case. Sometimes I'm like, you need to,
do this,
and well, tell me how to raise my child. Okay, fine, whatever. But this last time when I had my nephew, and I think I mentioned it last week, I had my nephew in the store, and he was the only one that was like just couldn't contain himself. I finally told her, I said, look, you need to go get him tested for something, because all of his synapses are not firing correctly.
Right.
Something's not right in his head, and you can see it. And she just looked at me, and I said, and I'm not telling you from your sister telling you you're raising your children. You don't know how to raise your children, because you have done a fantastic job with what you know.
Right.
The kids know right from wrong.
Right.
They know, but I said there is something not processing right in his brain, and that's coming from the educator standpoint.
Right.
And it's going to get him when he goes into second grade.
Right.
The teachers, the stakes are raised, especially down here. The stakes get higher at second grade because the stakes are even higher in third grade.
Right.
When if they don't pass the test, they don't move on.
Right.
And
that's how it should be, by the way.
Well, yeah, and it is in third grade. So they start pushing stuff on him in second grade, and if he can't follow directions,
right,
and if he can't sit still, and if he can't focus, that's the other thing, focusing, that's going to be huge problems, and you're going to be down in that school in the principal's office every day or every other day. And she just looked at me, and I said, that is me, the teacher,
talking to you.
Telling a
parent-teacher conference.
Telling a parent that there are foreseeable issues with your child.
Right.
And she said, okay. And then about 10 minutes later, she goes, how do we even start to get him tested? I said, you have to go to your pediatrician. You have to say that you think there might be something wrong. You've noticed some issues when comparing to other kids, seeing in public other kids of his age.
Right.
That you have some concerns. He's going into second grade, and you don't think that this is normal.
Right.
And she said, okay. I said, then they'll direct you from there.
Well, I mean, I wish her the best.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
I'll keep you all posted on how that goes too.
Okay, because
it might be a while before that she gets them tested.
Well, but I mean,
jump on.
now see, I also have I have a bit of a problem with little boys are little boys, and we're trying to turn them into little girls. I'm getting tired of all this crap on TV trying to get kids into romantic situations at 9, 10, 11, and 12.
And it's not that. No, and that's definitely. I'm not trying to turn my nephew into a little.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that.
I know what you're talking about, like with other.
But there's too much of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I mean, just because a kid. Listen, I looked out the window when I was in the freshman high school. I was totally uninterested in what they had. And today they would have said I had attention deficit disorder. No. This is boring, it's uninteresting, and I don't give a damn about it. It's
one thing if it's boring, but when I look at you and I say, and I give you a direction, here are the rules in the store. Don't run. Right. Don't scream.
No, I got
Don't walk away from me.
You got it, that's discipline.
Yeah, and then you walk into the store.
And do all those things.
He does it once, and I expect that as a 7-year-old boy, I expect him to test the rules.
Right.
My aunt gave me these rules. I'm going to break them and see what happens.
Right.
So he breaks them, and there are consequences.
Right.
He has a talk, he gets something taken away. I tell him,
whatever.
But then he does it again. And then he does it again.
Because he's still testing, he's still pushing.
But he's
because
not
why?
testing.
He's used to getting away with it.
But I don't think he's testing. I think something's not, when you watch his behavior, something's not right.
Well, see, my thought is, when his mom tells him that, she don't back it up.
Probably, and I've seen her do that too, but there's some lack of
common sense. That's what happens.
Sense.
Because what it is he has learned the behavior that I can keep doing it. Because her threats have nothing. And that's where a parent really loses control. If a parent will take control at the youngest possible age, they will save themselves years of trouble. Because the kid will learn right there, she means it. I work in a place where we see kids every
Oh my
day,
God.
and we see parents talk to their kids every single day, and you can tell immediately which parents are in control and which parents aren't. And
it's other things too. We did a puzzle. I did a puzzle with him, or we went to do a puzzle, and there was a lack of spatial sense, you know, and it wasn't a hard puzzle, decent sized
right.
puzzle pieces. It was a 100-piece puzzle.
Right.
Put them together, and he would like go and put a piece there, and if it didn't work, I knew that it fit with where it was supposed to go. You just needed to turn it.
Right.
He couldn't process to turn it.
Oh, he didn't make that. Maybe he's dyslexic.
And then he put it aside, and then he'd be like, "Oh, I give up. I can't do it." Now his dad, I was telling his dad how we were trying to do this puzzle, and his dad's like, "Oh, he's great at puzzles." So I'm looking at him like, "What kind of puzzles are you giving him? Like, what are you still?"
Maybe Dad's in denial.
Yeah. Well, I had a conversation with Dad too, and Dad was like, I'm recognizing some things, and I was like, yeah, there's processing issues. But then I listened to the stuff that he watches on TV, and his sister's 4, and they're watching they're watching things that are appropriate for a 4 and 5-year-old. He's not watching TV shows that are appropriate for a 7 or 8-year-old.
Right.
You know, and it's like, you gotta...
It's holding him back?
I don't know I think he's missing I think it is holding him back a little bit, because sometimes things like common sense, are learned through media, because you watch and witness other, interactions, and so who knows. So, like he mentioned, he watched The Backyardigans, and I'm like, I've never heard of that show, and I did a little research, and that's not a show for a 7-year-old.
No, it's for little kids.
Yeah.
We have about a minute and a half.
Okay, I'm sorry, I talked a lot.
No, I'm really glad. I'm always happy to have you participate in the show, because I talk a lot too.
You do sometimes.
I do sometimes.
Go check out some of the earlier shows.
Sometimes I talk the whole half hour, and
yes,
I know I do that. So I'm very happy when you participate, because I'm sure people enjoy listening to you.
Because that's stuff to talk about.
And we talk about, and you know what? We talk about parenting a lot. You know, we call it Angel in the Whiz, but we care. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's important, because if you don't parent well, we lose control of the next generation.
We do.
And right now, that's a dangerous time. Look at, the point that the Supreme Court made on this Obama decision was that you elected these people, and they passed this. You elected people that could be bought with the Louisiana Purchase, and a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there, and Obama calls you on the phone, and you can do this and that and that. And the point that he was making was, if you want to get rid of it, vote them out. And it was a legitimate point. A lot of people didn't want to hear that. Listen, I wanted it overturned too. But the point that he made, and he did some really great things too that people aren't going to find out about, they're not going to realize until issues come up later on down the line. That the conservatives, Judge Robert, the conservatives are going to be singing his praise. Right now they want to hang him. Someday they're going to be singing his praises. But the idea is that the point that he tried to make was, don't get mad at the people that do these things. Get mad at the people that elect them. You got to be involved. How involved do you want to be in your country? Okay, we have about 30 seconds. We should probably say.
Okay.
It's been very nice being with you. I look forward to you next time.
Thank you.
You're very good.
Have a great day.
That's right. To do something good, even if it's a little thing, to make the world
volunteer at your local animal shelter.
A better place to be. Have more cats and stuff like that.
Well, okay. Well, you enjoy the summer. Okay. All right, and you can watch this tonight on Channel 27. We're going to be on with, what's happening in the Hamptons. Okay. All right. Oh, before you leave, you came. I'd like to interview these two beautiful women at the dump. Now, this is a place to meet women, Dave. What's your name?
Andrea Carley. This is my mom.
Rose Carley.
Now, do you shop here often?
Very often.
And probably what you're wearing, you got here, right?
Absolutely. I wouldn't shop anyplace else.
You can't beat these bargains. I tell you, what's that commercial Sims does? That are educated. What is it, Dave? Educated
buyers. Yes, until the price is the very lowest price, and I waited until this was absolutely free, and then I picked it up here.
And it's so clean. I mean, you must have gotten it right away.
I think somebody had it clean before they brought it here.
I think this is really good looking.
Check the shoes.
Yeah, look at those. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
Brand new. Now your daughter. Let's see your outfit. This looks great. Except somebody spilled some paint on it, but it's okay.
Hey,
it's okay.
And straight from San Diego.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah, husband.
Oh, he's your husband. Well, come over here, husband. Come over here. Okay, so this is your T-shirt?
Yes, this is from when I was pregnant. This was with unisex. You said we use it, pregnancy, and now it's for him.
And now it's for him.
This is a golf shirt.
I see. Okay, well, what do you say? I could really use that shirt because I'm pregnant now.
Oh.
I could use that T-shirt. I think you really should leave it here. Look, you're here. You might as well give something away. I can't use that. It's too big for me to take home in my Volkswagen.
But we could tie it on top of your Volkswagen for you, and you could take it home, put it in your living room. It would look absolutely gorgeous.
Well, the problem is I'm waiting for the Volkswagen to be delivered here to the salvage area. Somebody told me they were going to drop it off today, but until it comes, I hate to keep you waiting.
Well, they close at 5, so you're not going to have too much more time.
Well, I guess we better get on with the story. Okay, well, it was nice meeting
you too.
Okay,
have
you
fun
look great.
shopping.
All right.
Move on to the gourmet section.
The gourmet section, the food section. Yes, okay. Well, Dave, should we look at some other items? For instance, this terrific thing to put your beers in, or if you can't drink beers and you're on a water diet, I used to have one of these. This is great also as a planter. You can put your plants in here. You can put your pennies in here. If you need to bring your fish along, you can just open up the top, fill it with water, and stick your fish in so they, don't leave home without them. And what other things can you do with this, Dave?
You can always soak your head, Suzy.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, we get such wonderful things to report on. I am really excited, though, about... come right over here, please. About exercise. And I know that you just signed up today, Dave, for at the fitness center, didn't you, right?
Yeah, they told me if I work out every day by the year 2000, I might be able to get in shape.
Well, another 200 pounds to go, Dave, and then you'll only have 300 pounds left. Okay, what we have for you, Dave, and for anybody who's really interested... Dave, you want to just follow me around over here? Come on, Dave. I thought when you went to school, because you are leaving to go to New York... Dave, you're ruining the show again. Come on. Look, this is something I want you to have before you go to New York, okay? This is an exercise bicycle, and I wanted to surprise you before you left, but I want to give this to you. It's great. It works. It's a little hard now as I've gotten a little bigger, but what do you say, Dave? Do you think I could get back into shape? Could you get back into shape with this?
The only thing you do is get rust stains from that thing.
Rust stains. Well, I say it works, and I think somebody even put new springs on it. Now, if you like to really go someplace, here's the body to a bike. There's a dog kennel here, a house for your dog.